And so I'll just put it out there as we get started. Whether you're most sensitive to working in an individual, a personal sort of way, or you're sensitive or inclined to work in a collective way, I just want to put it out that you may feel that toggling, that inclination shift back and forth. And as we work together, whether you're sensitive to a collective or not, just that we are holding lots of people in our practice minds, our practice space, who are in all sorts of places in the world. Some people are in healing modes, and some people are in this is also support to them. So when we create this practice container, this temporary bubble of a moment of deep and intentional work, it helps us, but it also feeds a lot of other entities. And that's my hypothesis. I think it's a pretty good one. So I just say that knowing that our work matters. So let's connect to deep Ujjayi breath. And the best quality of breath, the best quality of attention that we have, right? Whatever we have, we'll work with that. Align the skull bones over the sit bones. Part of this alignment gives us a little bit of measure as to how we might collect our feeling awareness, how we might aggregate, feel its coherence. Around what do we organize our love, our care, our concern? Can we organize our action and our intention around anything in particular? I like to choose the core because it's a potent portal into personal work and collective work. As when you feel your breath in and with your body, do you feel it prominently in one place more than another? This is where our practice habits and our personal habits will tend to show up. If I'm accustomed to being lost in thought, or if I'm a practitioner who does a lot of heart-based meditations, we may feel easily drawn into these places. So we know our practice can set a kind of default. Now feel with your breath into the space of your pelvis. And let's take one round of Brahmari just to help us buzz and feel and sense this lower third of our body. So let's do that together. Deeply inhale, hello. I'm going to hum and buzz up this pelvic space. Here we go. So we can get a sense of situating deeply in the lower third of our body. The seat of physicality, sensuality, substantiality. How substantial do I feel on this earth? Right? Let's take one buzzing breath, one buzzing Brahmari into the center of the heart. I like to go big and go for the shoulders, the blades, the rib cage. Okay, one buzzing breath. Here we go. I'll do it with you. When we buzz, know that it's not just a performance, an action, but it's also a way of listening. Listening into the field, listening into your tissues and your structures and of tension and carriage and right. Let's take one more buzzing breath into the head space. So aim to feel the buzz in the center of your brain, between the ears. We'll get the whole brain buzzing. Here we go. One buzzing breath into the head space. Of these three areas today, the pelvic area, the heart area, the head area. Again, you may have discovered it's easier to access one or a couple of these places more than the other. So in the interest of developing ourselves in a well-rounded way, if you can select the area of your body where the buzz was maybe muted, or it felt more challenging to distinguish the area as buzzing or resonating, let's work today with that area. Okay. So it's just a discrete moment of we're going to slightly isolate, but larger picture so that we can have access to more of our whole person. Now let's place the soles of our feet together, now that we know where we're working today. And we'll just start with a very soft, very easy unlocking the hip. Some of you may be working with some sacral or pelvic little turns of events. So you can be super, super soft. And you can work with your attention and your breath and very slight amounts of physical influence. Okay, I'm going to start left hand on left thigh. And just start by feeling the feet, the articulateness of the feet, the substantialness of the feet and the legs. Right? Inhaling, reach with your breath into the left side pelvis. And then exhaling, offering up some degree of physical pressure. It can be very light pressure. Because there's such a rich connection between the legs and the back of the skull and these next two deep breaths. Feel for almost uncapping the hip by lightening up under the skull. It's like a champagne cork. Just feeling the back of the skull and the brain lightening away from that left hip socket. And release. Let's do the other side. Right hand to right thigh. And go feet active. So one, I'm just going to feel my feet, the soles of my feet contacting the right sit bone, contacting the ground. That's right, contact. It's part of that substantiality. Right? I matter. It matters that I'm here in this location, in this time. Inhaling, reaching with breath into that right pelvic substance. Breath and substance. Spirit in matter. Noting not how problematic, but how spirited is this area, this one location on earth, this cosmic address I'm calling the right side of pelvis. How spirited is this singular address in the cosmos? And then we'll ease up. Forward fold. So just walking the hands in front of the shins. If you like, if it's a flexibility that works for you, some people plant their arm bones against the shin to pull their trunk forward. I'm not going to bend that low today. I'm going to go more for that length without so much fold. Now when you track with your breath, meaning when we become breath focused, breath aware, can we sense the low back, the back of the heart? And release. Now we've been hanging out in this hippie pose for a moment. So use your hands, help your legs together. Okay. And straighten right leg out in front. If it's agreeable on your hip, bring your left ankle behind your hip. If this does not agree with you, change the orientation, the rotation of the leg. If you can grab the ankle, hook on, left hand to left ankle. Otherwise, extend your hand bones away from your left earlobe. Okay. Inhaling into the left side, heart and shoulder, ear and brain. And exhaling, just have my right hand planted on the ground. Reaching, feeling through that inner right leg as I feel, as I can hold many things in feeling awareness. As more of my body can feel animated, spirited. When we're getting into this neck area, it's really important to utilize all of our breathing apparatus. That long, slow, very full inhalation will help to articulate all of these rib joints, right, where the ribs connect to the sternum. They'll help to move and articulate these highest up ribs, which can sometimes get a little bit entangled and create a kind of a stuck-ish feeling in this shoulder and neck. So let's take one or two more deep breaths, and by deep, I mean deep, filling up these upper lobes of lungs. And then chest opener. I'm going to set the right hand down, let the left hand go to raise the left arm. Now breathing fully into these upper lobes of lung, left side. Come to understand this lung area, this shoulder, this lung, this heart area of the body is often containing a lot of emotional information. And to lighten the load in our personal body, maybe it actually helps lighten that load in our collective body. So let's inhale and let's draw our arm up. Use hand to support the head up. It's been hanging out there a little bit. Let's switch sides. So we've got the left leg straightened out. The right foot, place it where the hip and the knee agree. I'm going ankle behind hip. Now, some form of latch or reach so the right arm can be straightened out, taking all the slack out of the right arm and the shoulder. So I'm latching on. You may have to reach out. Now inhaling, feeling your breath in the right side, upper lobes of lungs, really full inhalations. Yeah, right behind the wishbone. It's that little floating bone under your jaw. May not even feel like there's a bone there, but under the jaw and in front of the spine. Wherever you can imagine the bottom of the skull meeting up with the neck bones. Let's give it a couple more breaths and feel for relaxing the back, like the underneath backside of the brain. There you go. All right, and that chest opener, open up that right hand, lifting the right arm almost vertically. Yeah, there's a very particular bottom of brain thing. It's so interesting to me. I'm not sure if someone had a little head hit or something. But let's just all together feel for that breath kind of washing and clarifying, and those brain fluids just effortlessly being washed through that bottom of the brain area. Sometimes when heads have been hit, they feel kind of like very specifically dim in a just certain way. There we go. Let's give it one or two more deep breaths. We're getting there. It's in that the occiput, the brain stem area. can help each other out. That's a really beautiful thing about this practice. We can use our bodies in our practice and cool, cool. We might end up helping another brain or body out. Inhale, help yourself upright. Assist, hand assist your head back up. Cool. Let's unwind and lie carefully on back. Now, this head is pretty snazzed up. There's some great stuff moving and flowing through there. So when we lie back, let's get the hands to support the back of the head. And hold that back of the head like you're holding a brain, like you're holding they say the brain is something like the consistency of tofu, this extremely delicate, kind of squishy stuff. So you almost feel like you're holding this gelatinous, shimmering, fragile substance. Full of electricity. Inhale, the head and the shoulder blades up. Hold that brain oh so gently. Curl tailbone, exhaling, left leg reaches out. Now when you curl the tailbone, when you do anything with that low belly, just know you may feel a little bit of that action refracting into the brain area. You can feel for it. It's kind of cool. Inhale, bend that left knee. Curling tailbone. So just feeling with your hands, feel the brain. Exhale, right leg reaches out. And as you're drawing the belly in and down, just keep that back of brain area feeling really fluid, floaty. It's floating in its fluid. All right, inhale, bend that right knee. Let's keep going. Let's do 4 more on each side on our own. Those of you with sacral things that are going on, if you're just doing another version of abdominals, that's perfect. You can still feel the breathing of the low belly connecting and influencing the fluid around the brain. Sometimes the intention is more powerful or just as powerful as the action. And I'm not sure if this is applying to someone specifically today, but if you are working with, let me rephrase that. If I know I'm working with a head hit, I've bonked my head a bunch of times, I tend to prefer really gentle, breath-oriented practices. So when we do these, we're evacuating the breath and we're pulling the belly down, these really sometimes vigorous breathing techniques, I'll make them much more gentle just so I can start to get a read of my spine fluid around my brain. And it seems to be really, really helpful. So, all right, let's do one more. Let's do straddle, lifting through. So for their straddle, we'll bring the legs up and apart. Inhaling head and shoulder blades off the ground. Exhaling with your low belly muscles. Just let all that neck tension, the underskull tension, just letting it soften. Pull low belly down. Good. Inhale, let the tailbone relax. Just keep attuning to the back of the brain. Exhaling. Using that low belly. Exhaling everything out. Now, the degree of my leg and my belly effort is being determined by what I feel in my neck in the back of my brain. Pull low belly down. Let's keep going. Let's do our last 5 on our own. So inhaling, relaxing the tailbone down. And then exhaling, only applying physical effort that supports the softening, the opening, the freedom of the spine and the brain and the fluids. There we go. That's cool. All right, when you are entirely through, let's carefully turn onto a side and press to elbows and knees. I think those abdominals are powerful cranial sacral techniques. So for the last many years, I think it's such a cool, albeit physical way of regarding the sacrum, the fluids, the brain, and the neck all together. There's those little, it's like resuscitating those pumps, those mechanical pumps of that fluid system. All right, we're setting up for dolphin because why not? We get the elbows under shoulders, forearms out in front. And exhaling, curl toes under. Press the knees off the ground. Now I'm going to suggest, just for the fun of this craniosacral play, is as you're exhaling with your low belly muscles that you've adequately discovered in those abdominals, can you draw your low belly away from the bottom of your skull? Can you feel that gentle movement of the belly kind of tug moving away from the bottom of the brain? Maybe feeling if that can free up neck, there we go. And release by setting knees down. Cool. So, for my sacrum appreciative friends, when we stand for our standing splits, please modify so that you're tending to any of these nerves and bones, right? So while we're grabbing the foot with two hands, if this isn't the right pose for you, you may want to amend and make it more of like a standing pigeon, okay? But just know that you can change that pose, and please, all pain-free. All right, so for our standing splits, we grab the right foot with two hands. Feel free to use some balancing aids. We're sending that right foot away from navel. And you might be able to elevate that if you're feeling flexible or if you're in a warm climate. And we'll release, set that right foot down. We'll change sides. And release. All right. So we're also going to work vertical splits on the wall. And again, like where we are now, there's a handful of inches on the snow on the ground. This wall feels like chili. So you don't have to go super deep into your vertical splits if it's chilly where you are. I'm going to start with my right foot down and my left foot up wall. The further you step your foot away from the wall, the gentler the stretch. Again, be as gentle as you need to be. I think 6 or 8 more inches coming, so this is... You with the palm trees around you, congratulations. And let's switch sides. Bring that left foot down to ground. Bring that right foot up to wall. Again, make it gentle. This can be something as simple as just standing on one leg. So it can be a strong working pose. It doesn't have to be a stretchy pose. And inhaling, let's bring that right foot down to the ground. Now when you stand, we'll stand top of mat. And we'll move through some suns. Inhale, reach the arms up. Also sink heels down just to maintain that pelvic, that leg contact. Exhale, fold forward, feeling that head, that neck relax down. Lunge, inhale, step the left foot back. Place the hands down on the ground. Exhaling, step right foot back. Lower plank to ground, pulling shoulders away from the neck. Cobra, inhale. Elevating the chest, pulling with the hands. Exhaling, lower downward dog. Lunge, inhale, left foot forward. Setting the right knee down. Hands to ground, exhale, step the right foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. Let's do another. Inhale, reach up. Exhaling, fold. All the way through the neck, yeah. Inhale, right foot back, lunge. Hands to ground. Exhale, step left foot back. And we lower. Cobra, inhale. Stretching the breath into those upper lung lobes. Exhaling, downward dog. Lunge, inhale, right foot forward. Place the hands down, exhale, left foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. And then exhaling, hands to heart. Here we'll pause and do a couple things, a breath thing and a standing thing. The breath thing is separate your feet, placing our hands on our thighs for a round of Uddiyana. So inhaling into the abdomen, the belly, the back. And then all at once, exhale out the mouth. Keep the chin close to the sternum as you draw the belly in, back, and up. When you let the belly go, resume Ujjayi breath. Stand on your left foot and grab the right foot for standing pigeon. So we got the toes pointing towards sky. Breathing into that pelvis or getting those low belly muscles recruited. And release. Other side. So we grab a hold of the left foot, both hands, for standing pigeon. So maybe feeling how breath accesses that space of the pelvis. Do you have access to those low belly muscles? So you're exhaling, really emptying out. Good. Please gently set that left foot down. We're going to add just a little bit to the suns. Inhale, draw the arms up, sink the heels down. Exhale, fold forward, feeling the spinal cord and the head softly hang down. Now, inhale, left foot back for lunge. When you put the knee down and the foot down, you draw the arms up. Exhale, press, arrow lunge. So if it's agreeable on your knee, your ankle, press that left knee off the ground. And here we are, one additional breath. And then gently set the knee down, hands down, exhale, right foot back, lower, plank to ground. Inhale, cobra. You may already feel a different quality of reach through one leg than the other. This is a little bit what I mean by substantial. When we feel our substantiality, energy feels different. Downward dog. So lunge, inhale, left foot forward. Setting the right knee down, drawing the arms up. Exhaling, pressing down through right foot. Arrow lunge. Right knee may lift off ground. Additional breath. And Setting the knee down, hands to ground. Exhale, right foot forward, fold. Feel the whole spinal cord, neck and head just letting go. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Another sun, another lunge. Here we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. This time, when you inhale the right foot back for lunge, keep the knee up and the heel up. One additional breath. And place the hands down. Exhale, left foot back. Lower. All the way down for cobra. Inhale. Lengthen through gut. Love on those upper lung globes. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. Inhale the right foot forward for lunge. Knee up, heel up. Plus one extra breath here. And place the hands down. If you need to set the knee down, that's fine. Exhaling, step left foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. All right. So I'm going to pause right here. With wall access, we'll work handstand with, what do you call that, little pigeon leg. So let me show you. And who's ever really great at these pose names, you can always let me know. So I walk into the handstand by way of vertical splits. And then by piking, pushing, I can, one, just lift this ground leg off the floor. Or two, coming into this flying pigeon or handstand pigeon. Okay. Notice my wall foot way up here. I'm lifting my heel up. Okay. And we will do both sides. Now, if that's not agreeable to you, if that's too much splits, too much whatever, we can work a downward dog on the wall. We can just work handstand. Okay? So, is that descriptive enough? If you need more description, please let me know. Okay. I'll talk through it again. So if you're working this flying pigeon handstand, I'm coming at it from vertical splits. So I have one foot up the wall, one foot on the ground. And then walk back, hands toward wall, as closely, that's it, Vijay, that's it. Now with my back toes curled under, I would go, Susan, curl the toes under. So you have the forefoot, yes. And that way you can lift the heel bone up, almost like pulling the heel up, and that'll give you that little float thing. Exactly, exactly. So I might just float my right foot off the ground momentarily, or I might just start to play around with, where is that pigeon thing? That pigeon shape. Exactly, Brett, exactly. Now, some people feel really comfortable walking on their hands. Not me so much, but some people will walk on their hands even closer to the wall. Okay. And let's make sure we do the other side. So plan your escape, your exit. And here we go, other side. Right foot up on the wall. We can walk those hands back as much as we care to. Now, if your hips feel significantly different from one another, I would imagine that your handstand, your hand pressure, will also bear that, and it'll kind of elucidate that. Now, having exited, let's again stand at the top. And now inhaling, chair pose. We'll bend the knees, reach the arms up. Exhaling, fold, soften. Soften through the neck, the head. Monkey, inhale, collar away from lap. Exhaling, step or lightly jump back, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Warrior two, inhale, right foot forward. Now in our warrior two, we're just going to love on the hands a little bit. Okay, so I've got my left palm facing away from my navel. I'm going to take one breath per digit. Per digit meaning I'm just lightly drawing each digit back. Pressing, like I'm melting the palm away from my armpit. Next digit, next deep breath. Extended warrior variation. Inhale, reach arms out to the side. And this variation, reaching the left hand behind the back. So my left hand is grabbing my right thigh. My right arm is propped atop my right thigh. Now, that area, you had an area. And maybe you felt like your breath access was somewhat limited or muted or compared to those other places in your body. At this point, I'm going to guess that we've jogged a lot of these areas of the body into activity. So now feel what your breath axis is like, whether it was your pelvis, your heart, your head. Now, you can hang on to this left hand latch or let it go for half moon. Half moon is right hand moving to ground. Left foot moving to hip height. Now, if that latch doesn't keep working for you, just move that left hand to your hip or and then if you're working with those sinus or the brain stuff today, send that left heel away from the bottom of your brain. Almost the way a plunger, kind of drawing back the plunger of almost like a syringe, can induce a little pressure change. I think that works energetically and in a lot of ways. I can reach my heel back, kind of free up energetically under the bottom of the brain. I'm going to open up that left hand as I inhale, left foot to ground. We're moving into interlock warrior. So wiggle that left foot back adequately, 4 feet. And the right arm encircles under the right thigh. And when we release, the pigeon variation will work. Place hands down, left knee down. So once we get that right shin to the ground, let's place our forearms on the ground in front, and by curling the left toes under, we'll reach back through that heel. No, this is just like what we did at the wall. I kind of suspend my knee away from the ground. So my toes curled under, my heel reaching back, my knee suspends. And we're in a pigeon with a little zest. This kind of lights you up a little bit, this version of pigeon. Work with your breath. Feel your breath moving from the pelvis through the heart into the brain. We've done a bit to help free up and clear up the brain area. So let that transmission, let that information be processed with the nervous system. All right, release. Inhale, hands under shoulders. We'll do that on the other side. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling, left foot forward, warrior 2. And we start with the hand, the right hand. So I have my palm facing away from navel. Inhale, ribs into arm bone. Exhaling, feel for the melt. The palm melts away from the shoulder melts away from the head. After I go upside down, it's just a personal little editorial. I always feel like I could afford to kind of soften or unimpact the area of my bodies around shoulder, neck, and head. So extended warrior variation. Inhale, arms out to side. Now exhaling, we go right hand behind the back. Connect. Thigh or clothing. Left arm to left thigh. And just repeat, remember, where is that area? And let's find out if we can bring some loving, caring, deep breaths through that area. All right, half moon. So right hand can keep this latch or you can let it go. Place the left hand down on the ground. A little outside, a little in front. Inhaling, right heel hip height. Reaching that right foot away from the bottom of your brain. Now, interlock warrior. Inhale, place the right foot softly down. Okay. Walk it open. My feet are about 4 feet apart. And then exhaling this left arm and circles left thigh. Connect hands. I know that left leg's doing a bit. And you might just feel how you're inhabiting your body. Right? You're spiriting this vehicle. Every moment we remember feeling, connecting to breath, inhabiting our body. Right? That's one more instance. A spirited presence shows up on earth. So even if it's just a flicker of an instance, that's one more flicker. Each remembrance is like an earth nutrient, cosmic nutrient. So again, this isn't a problem of the body. I'm not feeling for where's the problem and boy, I'm going to root it out. But just feeling with your breath, how spirited is this body? How life possible am I sensing this body to be? Let's release. So we got that pigeon iteration. We'll set the hands down, the right knee down. Set the left shin down by walking that foot over. And once the forearms are down on the ground, we can curl those back toes under and send heel back. The knee will suspend from the ground. Connect to breath. Let that breath help carry this information through the body. Staying conscious as we sense is such a powerful, even transformative move, just to stay utterly aware of, oh, I'm sensing, I feel that, I'm not ignoring it, I'm not pushing it away, I'm not trying to explain it, I'm just feeling it, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling that. Such a powerful move. And when we release, setting the knee down, inhale the hands under the chest, under the shoulders, exhaling downward dog. Let's gently set knees down. We may end a little shorter than usual, and I'm all right with that. But I want to offer two things at this time. Option one is Tolasana. Tolasana or scales. It's another, I guess you'd say, inversion. We're pushing, we're suspending our weight on our hands. I'll usually do it from cross-legged, half lotus or lotus. Now, if you don't want to do any more pushing through the hands, I get it. Then what you can do is just work your favorite shoelace pose, whether that's shoelace fold, shoelace eagle, shoelace side bend. Okay, so you have that option. I'm going to talk us through Tolasana. So if you take cross-legged, half lotus, or full lotus, the difference between half lotus and lotus is half is one foot is on my other thigh. Full lotus just means one foot on thigh, the other foot on thigh. Right. I put my hands beside my hips. I actually have my thumbs under my thigh. Why? My hands then are shoulder width apart. Stage one of it, push the shoulders down, push the butt off the ground. And the two of it is just kind of drawing the thighs toward the chest. Plus breathe. Those of you working Tolasana, you may feel some of those reverberations of unlocking the hip as you're pressing the feet into the thighs. You actually feel that QL, sometimes that psoas, those deep back muscles, kind of lengthening out through the back if you put a little foot pressure in your lotus. Okay. So let's consider the other side. So there's a few of us maybe working with back or sacrum things. If I actively use my feet against my thighs, I create that little suspension. Remember we did that in our Uddiyana. It's a little bit of an Uddiyana, that hand pressure that tractions the spine. You can actually get that in your Tolasana. It's kind of cool. In fact, I'm just playing around here, but I think I am going to try a round of Uddiyana in Tolasana. What's the worst that can happen, right? So other side, here we go. I'll put that in the category of interesting. And once you feel complete on both sides, we'll unwind. If you need a layer, add it in, and let's lie back for Shavasana. When I offer these practice suggestions, techniques, I offer a lot of them with the notion that they may not be appropriate for everyone at every time, right? And so circling around, when you breathe into your area, the area you chose for today, I want you to, almost like you're zooming out with your breath, get a little more inclusive. Now breathe into one of those neighboring areas. Maybe it was a pelvis, maybe it was a heart, maybe it was a head. And then zooming out a little bit more. Can you breathe in and feel all three of those areas at once? This whole body that you feel right now, is this sense of whole different than how you perceived your whole body in the beginning of your practice? And if you have that sensitivity for feeling your whole individual self, just feel if it's a possibility. Kind of feeling into a collective, a body of practitioners, of which we are one part. Each one of us one part of this practitioner citizenry. We know that as we're creating these practice pathways, these intentional gatherings, these prayerful cohorts. That us laying down those practice pathways may just affect the trajectory of future practitioners. When you're ready, if you're ready, bend knees, turn to a side and press to seated. Namaste.